Hi guys, it's Amy with Aim to Plan, and I am here with a DIY project for my planner. I'm going to be making some custom top tab pocket folder divider things. All the things. So I'm really excited about this project. I'm really gearing up for December. Not December. Oh my gosh, it is December. I'm really gearing up for 2022. And so a lot of it is just kind of like prepping my Franken planner, putting together the pages that I want. I already put together the different sections. I did that in a previous video, so I will link that in the description box if you want to see that. But I'm also kind of tweaking the system at this point with some accessories. I'm actually adding sections, so stay tuned for that. That'll probably be going up next week. There's a lot of things happening, and one of the things that I wanted to be able to do was like create some new top tab dividers for my planner, and I want them to match the style of my previous top tab dividers, which I'll show you right here. Here's an example of one. Hopefully it's catching the light and you can kind of see it. It's just a clear divider that I made out of a pocket, like out of a document holder. And one of the cool things about this is that it's like a pocket, an actual pocket. So it has a top tab, it divides my sections, but also I can store things in here. So, like all I have is a paper clip, but like you can store a paper clip, you can store like sticker sheets, which I do all the time. I store sticker sheets. I store like notes to myself, things that I need to transfer into the planner, but I just didn't in that moment like need to write down or like had the time to write down. So I'm really excited about that. So I'm going to make a few more, like 4 more actually, and I'll show you the process from start to finish for how I do it. So a couple of supplies, you can use a paper trimmer or a paper cutter, like a guillotine or anything like that, but I'm gonna go simple and low tech and just use my scissors. I also have like a Sharpie marker. Do get a Sharpie marker or like a dry erase marker, so you can kind of mark your spot. And I also have like, this is meant to be like alcohol wipes, so I couldn't find my alcohol wipes, so I'm just going to use hand sanitizer and like this piece of paper to wipe off the marker. One of the things that I use is going to be these dry erase papers, boards, whatever they're called. These were released from the Happy Planner. They also release like full-size dashboards, the ones that are like the classic size papers. So I would definitely recommend using like the full-size version of the dashboards with the top tab. And you need one that has the 1 and the 2. So the one like right against the edge and the one that has like the second marking. So that way you can make all 4 of the dividers that I'll be doing today. So full-size dashboards with these 2 tabs right here. And then the last thing are the actual document holders that I made these dividers from. So I'll link, if I can find it, if it's still available, I will link the ones that I purchased. So you can see here it's Sooez. That is in the title, and it's Sooez document holders. And so that's what I searched. I purchased a packet here, and there's just no way I was going to be able to use all of these. Like it was a packet of I think like 25 or 50 even, so quite a few. And I'm going to pull out 4. These are such nice quality. You can use them in other projects too, but I like kind of using these for like making pockets, essentially, just having pockets in my planner. So I'm going to pull these out. Let me stick this back in there so I can reference that later when I do future videos. This is what it looks like straight out of the bag. It's a document holder with kind of like this C-circle edge that you can kind of like, store a document in basically. So it's just like this. And you're able to protect the sheet of paper, and it's really awesome. It's a nice sturdy quality too. It's not like a super flimsy. It's like laminate before you laminate it. So it's like a 3 mil, no, maybe not even, it's a little bit thicker, like maybe 5 mil before you laminate it. So these are the document holders. And so what I do is, actually it's meant to be this way, so you can kind of use it, or I guess you can use it either way, but it's meant to be this way so you can lift here on the C. But I like to turn it the other way because I want to keep this edge, and this is the edge that's open, and this is the edge that I'm going to be punching. Oh, I guess I forgot to mention you need a punch as well. And so I'm going to bring out my heavy duty arc punch. Backtrack there. You also need a punch. I forgot to mention that earlier. So you need a punch. So what I do is, like, it's very simple. I'll try not to make a mess of everything. And I normally would like use a board or something to lay under here. Actually, I'm gonna like, some of these boards are a little bit like, I noticed that they were kind of off a little bit, so I'm just going to double check the size against like a regular sheet of paper. Like the size is going to be 7 by 9. They both look right. Okay, so anyway, I just thought it was like off for a little bit. The size is going to be 7 by 9 1/4. So if you don't have a full dashboard here, I feel like it's very helpful to be able to make the tabs. But if you're just kind of like doing this with just what you have on hand, then you can certainly do that. But I like to turn this and just use this edge and just draw the line. Okay, and so this is where you have to kind of like pause a little bit and think about, like, in terms of dividers, where the dividers are going to go. So I need a first, second, third, and fourth divider. And so this is already, since it's already the fourth divider, I'm just going to go ahead and draw this particular one all the way through. And there it is. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and use the same one, again, making sure that I am cutting basically the open edges, right? So this dashboard goes against the closed edges, right? And it goes just right in here. I'm going to draw the first line, which is this line up. And then I need a first tab. So I'm going to turn it around this other way just because it's a lot easier to do it that way. And I'm going to finish the top tracing just like that. Finish it all the way out. Okay, got a little bit on my table. That's okay. All right, so now I have, and you can kind of stack this on top of each other and see it, right? So I have a first one and a fourth one. I'm going to use my second one, and this is why, you know, I think it's important to have like the dashboards, just because it makes it so much simpler to be able to do it. Again, double checking that I'm on the right edge, using this one against the closed edges. I'm going to trace this way all the way up, and then this one is already the third tab, so I'm going to leave this one in position. So basically, you know, you'll use the same dashboard twice, once in the direction that you're tracing it, and then once flipped the other way. And that's pretty much it. So I could easily just flip it and do it this way, but like I hate tracing this line like this, you know, so I like to just go ahead and flip it. So that way I have like one single edge right here, and then I can like flip it this way and avoid the punches, again, having to like draw through those punches, right? And then I'll flip it so I can get that second tab here. I'm not doing a great job of tracing or like, you know, creating this edge, but one of the reasons why I use a Sharpie marker, or you can use a dry erase, is that it can easily wipe off with some alcohol. And so I'm double checking my edges here, and this dry erase actually looks fine. So I'm not going to worry about wiping down. Let me check this other one. Yeah, so it looks fine on the dry erase. I'll probably have to use the alcohol wipe on like the actual sheets themselves. Okay, so like looking at all four of them then, might be hard to see the very last one, but you can see here that now that I've traced them all, I have first, second, third, fourth. And you can see here it's not perfect, right? So this one is like overlapped way more than the others, but that does, you know, honestly, it just doesn't bother me. I just live with it. It's a DIY project. I am totally fine with it, but that's what it looks like. And then now I cut. I just try to hold it pretty tight and cut through both sides of it in one go. Again, you can use a paper trimmer and just, you know, trim it on the lines up to the tab, and then just go around the tabs with a pair of scissors. But I think it's totally fine. Again, DIY project to do it by hand too. So I'll fast forward through the rest of these, but you can kind of see I'm just basically trimming it out on the lines with a pair of scissors, right? Be back soon. Okay, so I am done. I was lazy enough to just cut through both layers at one time, but if you wanted it to be a little bit more precise, you know, I would cut it, you know, one layer at a time, like, you know, cut the top layer and then cut the bottom layer. Like right here, I pinched it a little bit and it's already like kind of white, but I think it's totally fine. I like to go ahead and make sure that the pieces can open easily at this point, because sometimes like the plastic kind of like gets stuck to each other. And so I'm going to clean it out like that, or like just, you know, adjust it. And then this is where the alcohol wipe / my hand sanitizer with alcohol in it comes into play. You can see here that because of the way that I did the tracing with the Sharpie marker, that there is like black all around the borders. And so using a Sharpie, like hand sanitizer or like alcohol, it wipes right off, right? Especially like if you're doing it within like a few minutes of like drawing the line, it comes up really easily. So all you have to do is just kind of like run it along the edge, and it's like perfect, right? So again, you can use dry erase. I feel like dry erase just becomes a little bit messier because it can rub off as you're cutting, you know, and so then it gets like further in, and of course you could wipe it off, but I just find Sharpie, like a permanent marker, works totally fine. You know, it's perfect for a project like this, I think. So that's pretty much cleaning it up so that way it's ready to go. It is definitely not perfect. You can see here, like, there's some edges. In fact, let me go through, like, some of these edges are like, there's some pieces. This is the edge that I cut, which, you know, I totally don't mind it being a little bit rough, just because it's going to be the side that's punched, you know, it doesn't matter. The clean edges are the closed edges over here, so that's, you know, it's all fine. But I want to, like, maybe clean it up a little bit. And then, of course, like, the top here, be careful with it just because they are a little bit sharp. But over time, I feel like it just kind of wears down, so I don't worry about rounding it or anything like that. But you can certainly do that if you are worried about, like, you know, it kind of like pinching you, or like, you know, giving you like a plastic cut. It's not really a paper cut, like a plastic cut. All right, so then here, I will show you that this one, I did use the arc punch on these as well. I don't recommend using the Happy Planner punch. Just use it at your own risk, just because the Happy Planner punch isn't as strong as this arc punch. But this arc punch is one of my favorite things. And so all I do is leave it on. I do have, just because I used the Happy Planner classic size, I do have a line here that marks where the Happy Planner classic size is. And so I'm gonna adjust right there. And if you want to double check, which I do, I'm just gonna double check. Well, that's like way off. Why is that way off? Okay, I did it with this one, and this one's correct. You know what? This thing must be like way, look at that. That is, wow. Okay. I don't know how I would use that. Like, this thing is going to be sticking up so much. All right, this is a miscut. All right, maybe I should contact Happy Plan about that. Let me double check this other dry erase board. Because, like, what? All right. Sidetracked. All right, yeah, so this one, yeah, this one lines up with the punches here. All right, so definitely that other one is, like, way off. Okay, so my line is correct. It is correct. I'm just going to punch these 4. Make sure that you're punching the open edge here, all right? And, you know, you're going to have 2 open sides and 2 closed sides. Sorry for the shaking. This punch is getting old. It is starting to jam a little bit. It's so old, but it works so much better. I feel like it had one piece that jammed. It works so much better than the Happy Planner punch, I think. All right, again, double checking that it's the open side here. It's jammed down here. There's something stuck in there. All right, pausing again. I think I found it. It was a little piece of plastic that was stuck in there. So we'll see if it works now. All right. So again, open side. Sorry for the movement. All right. It doesn't have to be perfect. I just like it to be in there. And because they're clear, you know, because they're clear, it just works out so much better. That, you know, if it's a little bit bigger, it's fine. This punch doesn't punch quite as deeply as the Happy Planner punch, but because it's clear, you know, even though it's like a little hanging, like it's a little bit of an overhang, it doesn't bother me. So, all right, hopefully this last one can deal with it, because this plastic is not happy in this punch. All right. I'm trying to recommend you, arc punch. Please do your job, you know. It did punch through all of them. Some of them did hang on a little bit more than I thought. This punch must be on its last legs. I have had this punch for, like, I would say 10 years. Before Happy Planner, when I was doing bullet journaling in a discbound system, I've had that punch for forever. So here are my dividers. All done. It did work. No major mistakes that happened. Again, like, one of the things that may bother you, it doesn't bother me at all, especially once I get into my planner, is that there's more of an overlap here than there are in the other 2 areas. But it's a DIY system, and then once I start putting in pages, I won't even notice it. So I'm totally fine with it. And then here's the one that I had from a previous project, and it blends in just as nicely as, even though this one's scuffed up, I do use them, but it just blends in with all of these others. So I love this. I love being able to have a top tab, a divider, top tab, as well as a pocket that's clear. I just love all things about this setup. So that is all. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to my channel, and until the next video, bye guys.